In the last video, we saw the war between the Red Locusts and the forces of the tower on the 67th floor. The Red Locusts were pushing back the Lizardmen and other people who were trying their hardest to defend the waypoint. Just then, Iona came there, created a huge explosion to defeat thousands of Red Locusts at once, and bought time for other people to plant the tough-bladed green onions on the ground. The weaponized green onions proved to be very effective at battling the dumb insects, and they began to get killed by them easily, giving the tower forces new hope. Iona told everyone that this was the Black Dragon's grace, and then she personally led the motivated troops into the battle. Meanwhile, Sejun was getting 1 EXP for each Red Locust his crops killed. The number was great enough to make even that small amount of EXP useful, and he leveled up quickly. On the other hand, Couldn't was using his power to split the tough blade green onions into 2 to plant them. A few days ago, Sejun made a deal with Iona about supplying the tough blade green onions to defend the tower, but she suggested he charge money for them because giving them away for free could create problems later. She asked him to let Theo handle the business side, and everyone liked the idea. Just then, Sejun saw Couldn't eating the dead Red Locusts, and while he panicked at seeing that, he soon found out that the monsters of the tower find the insects delicious. Well, so Sejun turned that into a business too. The Red Locusts killed by the tough blade green onions would be transported to the 99th floor by the Silver Wolf tribe and also sold to other parts of the tower for money. Sejun planned to earn money from this and use it to rebuild the 85th floor, and he even gave the wolves a commission. Sejun had also demoted Theo to the post of intern after his mistake of taking the Sun's sweet pumpkins away and selling them to Dongshik. Theo acted sad but also believed that he didn't make a mistake by selling them to Dongshik, who was a trustworthy man. Anyway, he also tried to butter up Sejun by massaging him. Meanwhile, the mama bear was dealing with intruders in her territory. Those were the tree monsters called the corrupted Ents. She had been facing more of them lately and felt that she needed to tighten her patrols. But then she left for Sejun's location to get some dinner. This chapter starts with Aileen showing a face that got me down badly. She is flushing red, sweating, panting, and drooling with her mouth open, and while you may think that a box of tissues must be nearby, it is not. The reason behind her reaction is the food that she just finished. After finishing the spicy food, she gulps a glass of honey and cherry tomato juice and then finally rests against the wall to relax. She has just eaten 4 or 5 plates of a spicy dish Sejun made for her, and she exclaims that eating spicy things relieves her stress so quickly. On top of that, she has been so worried and tense these last few days that she cannot eat properly, which makes this meal even more delicious. She loudly talks about it to tell Sejun how grateful she is, and he is also glad that she liked it. He tells her that he will send her some dried sweet potatoes as a dessert in a bit, and Aileen says that she is happy. Meanwhile, Sejun and his army of white farmer rabbits are heading to work. He still keeps getting notifications that his tough-bladed green onions have defeated a pest, giving him 1 EXP. Sejun realizes that there must have been another Red Locust attack and wonders how many of them are there. He asks why the numbers are not even decreasing. Aileen tells him that this is just the start, but at least the sharply increasing numbers of the Red Locusts have started to stagnate now. She checks the complete stats and finds that the tower forces have already defeated over 1 million locusts on the 67th floor by now, and about 6 million of them are still left. The good news is that the population of the Red Locusts has increased only by 7 in the last hour, which means soon their population will begin to fall. Sejun remarks that it is definitely a relief, and he also says that he has greatly leveled up because of the Red Locust hunt. He says that he hopes that he is of help to the 67th floor, and Aileen again uses her manager powers to find new information for him. She opens a system window that lists the contributions of different people to the eradication of Red Locusts on the 67th floor, and Sejun is on top. He already has over 300,000 kill counts to his name, which is even greater than Iona, who is just at 123,000. The third place belongs to a lizardfolk warrior, but he is only at 11,000. Aileen is impressed by these stats. Because her mana is still lacking, she can't use the crystal ball to confirm the situation on the 67th floor, but she can predict the situation through the list of contributions. She happily tells Sejun that the tough blade green onion definitely played a huge role in the mission. She assures him that these are not empty words to appease him. She also reveals that once the Red Locusts are eradicated from the tower, Sejun and others will be able to receive a reward depending on their contribution. Sejun is curious about the rewards now, and he asks Aileen if there was a reward for killing the intruders from the beginning. He asks if that was a quest too, and then inquires about the nature of the reward. Aileen replies that it is a secret, and she can only tell him that the higher the contribution, the better the reward given. Sejun is happy to hear that and says that he will have to work harder to increase his contribution. Meanwhile, he is pulling out a thick and juicy carrot from the ground, with the chunky rabbit already drooling by his side. Sejun uproots a mighty big carrot of agility, which is a C-rank crop with 130 days of shelf life. When consumed, it breaks down 30 grams of fat from the body, gives the user increased agility by 0.5 for 10 minutes, and also improves eyesight. Sejun is happy to harvest the C-rank carrots, and he immediately gives one each to the farming rabbits. This way, their agility will increase, and they can complete work faster. But won't they get sleepy after stuffing their belly with a huge carrot? The rabbits are excited for the carrots, and just then, Theo comes there, still sleepy. He tells Sejun that he is going down, while Sejun is eating the carrot straight out of the ground without even washing it. Sejun calls Theo a sales cat, and I don't know how he got his position back so soon. He asks him why he is heading down so soon. Sejun then asks him if he plans to meet Elka and others on the 85th floor, and Theo affirms. He says that after taking the wolf pack to the 67th floor, he plans to go to the 38th floor while collecting the red locusts. Sejun tells him to take care and then taunts him about whether he took the crops correctly this time. Theo gets triggered by his words, and he asks Sejun what he takes him for. He is confident that he will not make the same mistake twice. Just then, one of the gray rabbits arrives there and delivers another piece of good news to Sejun. His house is now complete. Sejun and everyone else go to his newly built house, which looks pretty decent by any standards. Sejun examines it and finds that, from the structure to the kitchen, everything is just the way he likes it. He asks the gray rabbits how they made it so well, and just then, Queuing remarks that the floor is warm. Sejun and everyone else lay down on the floor, and he explains that this is called a heated floor, and it is really relaxing when you are tired. Sejun then asks the two gray rabbits if he ever explained the details about the structure of the heated floor to them. The rabbits reply that among the wandering merchants, there is a tribe that also lives in houses of similar styles. The architect rabbit had taken some commissions to build their houses in the past, so he is familiar with the idea. Sejun is surprised to know that there are also species in the tower that use heated floors and other amenities. As everyone is sitting on the porch outside, Theo and Queuing notice two small wooden doors and ask Sejun about them. He is confused too, so he decides to open them, and to his utter surprise, he catches the sickle rabbit and her gray rabbit boyfriend in the middle of the deed. The sickle rabbit flinches on being discovered, and she yells at Sejun that he should have knocked before closing the door. Sejun and Theo hurry away from there, closing Queuing's eyes so that he is not exposed to this indecent scene. Once they are outside, Sejun begins panting and then cries because it is his house, and the rabbits have already made themselves cozy there. Seeing him like that, Queuing asks if he is sad. Anyway, the author was down this week, I guess. Just then, Queuing's mom also comes there, and Sejun tells her that she is late today. He asks her if she is not too absorbed in the patrol these days, and she tells him that the area around them is a bit of a mess right now, while holding a corrupted ant in her hand. She throws the ant's body on the ground, and everyone is surprised. The mama bear says that she thought that it would be quite useful, so she brought it here. Sejun is a bit nervous, but he thanks her for the old and sturdy-looking tree. Theo suddenly asks the mama bear if she is heading into the forest once again and asks her to take him with her. She takes him along, saying that her way into the forest won't be lonely then. Sejun waves the sales cat goodbye, and then he turns his attention to the tree monster. He asks what they should do with this old tree, unaware that it was once a monster. The architect says that the quality of the wood is quite good, so they can make furniture. First, they have to trim the tree, and the carpenter rabbit summons his axe to start working. Sejun tells them that he will be organizing things around in the house in the meantime, and Queuing asks the rabbit to make a bed for him using the wood. However, the carpenter rabbit suddenly sees something glowing within the hollow tree, and the very next moment, a long branch comes out and grabs him. As the branch begins squeezing the rabbit, he cries in pain, and then the ant monster gets up. It turns out it was not dead but only acting all this time. Sejun panics upon seeing the monster in front of them, but he immediately springs into action to save the rabbit. He draws his dagger and runs ahead, and Queuing also dashes ahead at full speed. He transforms into his full size and pounces on the tree monster. Queuing manages to tear apart the branch holding the gray rabbit and frees him, but then the tree monster sends its branches to grab him instead. Queuing is taken by surprise, but he still fights back by tearing off the branches with his mouth. He angrily roars at the ant, and the tree monster screeches back in return. Terrified by this fight, Sejun wonders what he should do. He immediately contacts Aileen for help, and she first asks what a corrupted ent is doing here. Sejun says that he doesn't know, and the tree suddenly woke up. He asks what he can do to eliminate it. Aileen nervously flicks the pages of a monster guidebook and then tells Sejun to eliminate the carnivorous fruit in the tree to stop it. Meanwhile, Queen and the ant are still struggling when Sejun suddenly asks the bear cub to get smaller. He obeys and becomes smaller, freeing itself from the tree monster's grasp immediately. And using that chance, Sejun rushes ahead and stabs the glowing interior of the tree monster. It screams loudly with Sejun's dagger still inside it, and then creepily says that everything is in this place. Just then, Sejun's dagger manages to stab the carnivorous fruit inside, and the monster falls dead for good this time. Sejun is relieved, but he still wonders what the tree monster meant by everything is in this place. His system window tells him that he defeated the carnivorous fruit of the large corrupted entity, and acquired 50 EXP. Just then, Queen tugs on his clothes and tells him to look at something. Sejun turns around to find an army of smaller ant monsters in front of them. The gray rabbits are terrified of them, and even Sejun panics upon seeing the corrupted ant's small branch scouts. That's the end of the video. Just as the red locusts stop being an unsolvable problem, Sejun has a new enemy on hand. Let us see how he deals with these walking tree monsters. There might be more interesting things coming our way, and we can only wait for them to come soon. Leave a like and comment if you enjoyed this video, and check out other videos on our channel as well.